Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm starting a new series where I'll be teaching you frame of motion. So in this video, I'll pick up one component of the frame of motion, which is animate property. So currently I'm in the frame of motion documentation. You can also check it out. They have created a beautiful documentation, and we will be going one by one, and we will be seeing each property or component one by one. Okay. So this is the documentation. I'll also link I'll mention this link in the description. You can go and check it out. So this is the homepage of the documentation, and we can click on get started, right? And it will lead you to this introduction page where you can read about frame of motion. So basically it gives you this motion component, which you can directly use with all the HTML elements. So as you can see, with this HTML element, you can directly use this as a prefix. And when you write this as a prefix, basically you will be able to use all the properties which motion gives you inside this particular HTML element, right? So the first property which it gives you is this animate property. So inside this, what you can do is you can include a particular object, and in that object you can mention as many properties as you want. So currently in this example, you can see they have written that X value should be 100. So by X, they mean to say the position of this particular div, right? So this is a horizontal position. You can also change its vertical position, which will be Y, and we will have a Z position as well. So by this line, they are telling that they want to animate this div and they want X value to be 100, right? So yeah, and by this example, you will be able to understand it easily, right? So as you can see, when I change this X value, it moves horizontally, right, in the backward and forward direction according to the value you are giving. And similarly, when you change the Y position, it automatically moves in like vertical position. So as you can see, animation is happening automatically, right? So that's what frame of motion gives you. You just basically mention the property which you want to change, and animation automatically happens, right? Before frame of motion, like in CSS, we used to write keyframes, and in that, I think we generally write animation in terms of keyframe, right? But here you just need to mention what exactly you want in your component, and animation will automatically happen. That's the beauty of frame of motion, right? So in this video, we will create a progress bar using this animate property which we just learned. And yeah, we will see how you can basically create a basic progress bar using frame of motion and this animate property which we just learned. Also inside this, you can write any CSS property, like maybe you can write display none or opacity to be 0. You can write any CSS property. So whatever CSS property you will write, automatically animation will happen, right? So let's create a basic React project first. I've already created a React project before making this video. So you can create a basic React project using create React app, or maybe White. For this, I've used White because its runtime is fast. So I've already started up the server. In the package JSON, let me show you. I've already installed the frame of motion. So you can install this library. For installing it, you can check it here, I think. You can just simply write npm install frame of motion and it will be installed, right? So I've already run this command and frame of motion has been already installed in my local environment. Now let's start this. So let me show you the website live preview. Currently it looks like this. So we will be creating a lot of components, and I'll be pushing all these changes to my GitHub repository so that you guys can check it out. I'll mention that link in the description. So basically the motive of this project is to include all the framework components which we will be building throughout this series which I'm starting, where I'll be creating a lot of different components using frame of motion, and also I'll be teaching you what exactly are the properties of frame of motion and how you can utilize those, right? So yeah, let's create one progress bar. So I'm creating one new component, but you will get an error. You won't see anything here because we haven't created this component yet. So what you can do is you can create one directory over here in the source directory, which will be named as components, or like I've already created one directory. Its name is framework components, as I was trying some other components as well, when I was practicing frame of motion. So you can create one new file over here, which name will be progress bar. .jsx, and you can type rfce, and it'll automatically create a basic template for you, right? And if you don't have this extension, what you can do is you can go to extensions tab and you can search ES7 plus yeah. So basically you have to install this ES7 plus React / Redux snippet extension, and it'll basically give you this feature where you can just simply type in RFCE and press tab, and it'll automatically give you the template, right? So let me just save it, and here let me just import it. So now you will be able to see this, right? So it's coming. So to make a progress bar, what we will do is we will have two divisions. So the first division will have width full and height it will having, let's say 2. I want it to be having rounded borders. And also I forgot to mention I'm using Tailwind CSS classes. Okay, so you might be seeing over here, like I already have Tailwind configuration files. So yeah, in package.json you might be able to see I have some Tailwind CSS related plugins which I've already installed. If you want to install Tailwind CSS, you can go to Tailwind CSS with React White documentation. Yeah, so basically you can perform all these steps, and by doing all these steps you'll be able to install the Tailwind CSS in your React project. So that's how I did it. So yeah, after installing Tailwind CSS, you can use all these Tailwind CSS utility classes which I'm using. So basically I've already done all of this before making this video, because I wanted to make this video real quick so that you will be able to understand this video quickly, because you know it takes 1-2 minutes extra which I don't want to spend. So you guys can spend that time and install all the dependencies which are required. Okay, so let's start this. So basically I've created one division which has width full and height 2, and it has rounded corners, and also I want its background color to be white. And also I want one more div inside it, which will be basically my progress, which will animate actually. So let me show you. So you can give it class again. We will be having width, let's say 1 by 12, and height will be full, and we want it to be background having somewhat this much color. So let's see how it's looking right now. So as you can see, it's looking like this. Let me give some margin to it. Yeah, so now what we want to do is we want to basically animate this, and we want it we want this to reach here, this blue progress bar, right? So what we can do is for this inside this division, right, we can use motion component. So first you need to import it. So you can write import motion from framer motion, right? And now you can use this as a prefix. So you can write motion dot div, and here as well. Right now motion component gives you a lot of properties which you can use. So the first property which we are using in this video is animate. So you can write animate and curly braces. Inside this curly braces you can pass your object where you will be mentioning different CSS properties, right? So you can write basically we want its width to go to 100%. That's it. Okay, so you can keep it in the inverted commas. So let me refresh it. As you can see, it's happening very fast. So we have to give it some delay, as well as we want it to have some transition duration, right? So that is the second property. Let me go to introduction back again. And if you go down, you will see after animate, we have this, it's not here, I guess. It will be in the overview. So after animate, you will be able to see we have this transition property, which motion component gives you, right? And inside transition, you can basically mention all the properties which are related to your animation. It can be what type of animation you want and how much duration it should be happen. So for our case, we need this duration property so that we will be able to see animation in a little bit slow manner, right? Because currently it's happening very fast because its duration is very less. So we want to increase its duration. So what you need to write is, you can write duration and again it will be a same object, and inside this object you can write duration, and we want it to be having a little bit big duration, so you can write 10. So now you will be able to see its animation. Again, it's happening very fast. Sorry, this property will be transition, not duration. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, as you can see now, animation is happening very slow. So in this way we can create a progress bar. I hope you learned something new in this video, and how you can basically utilize motion component and create something similar to this, right? So in a lot of websites you might have seen a progress bar, right? So a similar progress bar you can create on your own using Framer Motion, and we only used two properties. So the first property we used this one, Animate, and the second property we used Transition. So inside Animate we just only mentioned that we want its width to reach 100%. But before using this transition, what was happening is like it was happening very fast and we wanted it to be slow. So that's why we needed to use some kind of transition where we can mention, okay, that this animation should get completed within 10 seconds. So that's how you will be able to see it exactly happening, right? So yeah, in this way you can create a progress bar using Framer Motion. So yeah, I hope you learned how to basically use Animate property, and let me use some other properties as well, so you will be able to see. Like currently we only used a width property, right? You can use any CSS property inside Animate. Like let's say I want it to scale maybe, and inside this either you can provide a single value, let's say 2. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, as you can see, it's basically scaled up, right? And let's also say I want it to maybe rotate horizontally, right? So you can write 100, 200. Let me check. Yeah, although you won't be able to see it because we're rotating it in the X position. Let's rotate it on Z position. Yeah, now you'll be able to see it. It's exactly rotating, right? Also, you will be able, you notice here, like I've mentioned values in array. So this is another feature in Animate property, or in Framer Motion you could say. So basically every property value, either you can provide it as a string or a number, right? Maybe like I'm trying to say here, like every property value, either it can be a single value or it can be a multiple value in the array. So basically it will try to rotate, like first it will rotate 100 degrees and then it will go to 200 degrees. So it's similar to like keyframes which you write in CSS, right? So yeah, you can try out all the CSS properties which are there, and you can write those inside this Animate property, and you can try out different properties inside this, and you know, create this progress bar. So yeah, this was all for this video, and I hope you learned something new. See you in the next video, and in the next video I'll be explaining more about other properties which comes in Framer Motion, like this initial one, and then we have exit animations, right? Like if you want to use exit animation in case a component is removed from the DOM or from the website when it is removed, like how to create those animations, we will create that in next video. So yeah, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this video, and do share, subscribe.